Hello and welcome back, audience. My name is MassiveBrad and welcome back to my FIFA 21 Liverpool career mode. Now, before we get into today's episode, I just want to say a huge big thank you for love and support on the channel. And as always, guys, at the start of today's episode, we're quickly going to look at the games that lie ahead. Now, excitingly for today's episode, all three games, very unusually, you don't normally see this, but all three games are at Anfield. We're at home for every single game in today's episode. But up first, we take on Sheffield United at home in the Premier League. We then take on Voluntari in the Champions League, I do believe our third game in the group stage. And then for the final game, we take on Brighton, of course, at Anfield again in the Premier League. So 6 points up for grabs in the Premier League, 3 points up for grabs in our Champions League group stage. We, of course, touched upon at the end of the last episode which games we'd be playing and which one we'd be simulating. I said I was going to focus mainly on the Premier League, especially with us now moving into that first position. We've got an opportunity in today's episode to potentially start growing that gap, pushing on, securing that first position, not having a team a point or two behind us, having a little bit of a gap and a little bit of breathing space. So I'm going to be playing the game against Sheffield United and Brighton, which then, of course, leaves the Voluntari game for our simulated game. Now, realistically, even putting out a bit of a rotated team and simulating the game against Voluntari, I still expect us to bag those 3 points and get the win. So hopefully in today's episode, we can bag all 9 points out of the 9.6 in the Premier League, 3 in the Champions League. But before, of course, we dive in to the game against Sheffield United, we have to head over to the comment conference. Yeah, of course, we put out a bit of a rotated team against Sion and managed to beat them 4-0. We put out a rotated team against Sheffield United and we beat them 2-0. Of course, the whole point of me having an A team and a B team is sort of so the B team get their chances in the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, games here and there. And it's their job when they're on the field to prove to me why they deserve to move from the B team to the A team. So, of course, in the FA Cup, I'm pretty sure, having talked with the backroom staff, we probably would have looked to have been playing some A players and some B players just to mix it up a little bit, keep a bit of experience in there. Obviously, we're going to be coming up against some very difficult teams. Keep a bit of experience, but also give some youngsters, maybe some players that can't get out the reserves, give them a little chance to shine. Some players that sit on the bench but sadly don't get to come on in the Premier League games or the Champions League games, they can start for us in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and competitions like that. Really, I want to give everyone a fair shot, but in those chances that I give to players where it might be in the Carabao Cup, might be in the FA Cup, might be in a game in the Premier League or the Champions League when it's against a lesser opponent, it's their job really to shine for me to come away and go, wow, what a performance from Harvey Elliott, or what a performance from Ismail Sarr. And then they sort of start challenging the players that are in the starting 11. But for me, like, the starting 11 is always going to sort of be the same. Few rotated players in there if we have fatigue or injuries, but we seem to have something that's working right now, and I sort of live by the saying of, if it works, don't change it. There's no need to change it if something's working. So I think, yeah, especially in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, these players need to sort of shine for me. They need to show me, look, I can break into the starting A team and I will show you what I'm made of, and that's what I need from the players. So yeah, 100% in the FA Cup. I'll certainly be giving some of the young players a chance to have a run out, hoping that they play very well and try and break into the starting first team. But yeah, of course, we will be looking to rotate and play some of the players that may not necessarily get a lot of minutes in the FA Cup. So there's always speculation when you bring a player in that plays in the same position as someone. Is the doubt and worry that that first player or the first initial player in that position is leaving? Has a transfer offer come in for that player and that's why we're buying someone in their position? It's completely wrong. We brought Ismail Sarr in, and when he came in from Watford, he was playing more of a right mid position, meaning he was playing more on the halfway line. He'd drop back to help out the right back. He'd push forwards to help out the attack. Of course, in this Liverpool team, we're a very attacking team. We like to get teams on the counter-attack. So for me, having him at right mid and a little bit deeper than what we'd like to see Mane and Salah on the wings was not an option for me. I wanted Sarr to be a lot more in the attack, and I want him to be scoring goals, getting assists. I want him to be pushing down that right side. We've had a chat, and I told him when he first come to the club that he was going to be playing in a more attacking role. So that's why we've been training him to go from a right mid where he practices his shooting and his crossing and his passing, and we've been mainly focusing on his stamina, his sprint speed, his crossing, his shooting, because we want him to be a lot more attacking rather than playing the ball around in the midfield and having him out to the right side, sort of on the halfway line, maybe a little bit more forwards from the halfway line. We want him to be right up there with Mane and Bobby Firmino and Patson Daka and whoever else is playing up top. We want him up there in the attack. We want him getting goals. We want him getting assists. Now, although Watford had a sort of routine and a formation that worked well for them. Obviously, Sarr coming into our team, I'm not going to swap where we start playing a right mid and play more players in the midfield just for the sake of a player. I brought him in and told him from the start when we first sat down that I want him to be in a more forward and attacking role. He was completely happy with that and excited to start getting on the score sheet, and he has already done that so far. So he's working hard. He's getting into that right wing position. He's starting to sort of have a more attacking mindset. As for me bringing him to potentially replace Salah, no, Salah won't be going anywhere. Salah, Bobby Firmino, Mane, my front three, I love them to bits. There's no reason why I need to sell any of them or move anyone on. It's as simple as we've now sold, of course, it's already been in the papers and talked about through Sky Sports, but Xherdan Shaqiri has been sold to Juventus with us moving a player on. I needed to bring a player in. Now, of course, I brought Sarr in before Xherdan Shaqiri left, but I'd had a chat with Xherdan Shaqiri. We decided that he wasn't going to get the game time that he wants. He wasn't going to break into the first team ahead of Mo Salah, so he wanted to move on. That's fair enough. I've told my players if there's ever an issue, come and knock on the office door and we can certainly have a chat. He's moved on, and straight away I already knew that we needed to bring in a right wing. Just after that chat, I knew we had to make up numbers. So Sarr came in. We've converted him now from a right mid to a more attacking at right wing, and he's settling in nicely. He's part of the lads. He's having a laugh in training. He's smiling. Putting stuff on social media. He seems really comfortable, and he's obviously already told me that the team have really settled him in nicely. So there's no plan of moving on Mo Salah. We won't be looking to sell him in the future, and Ismaila Sarr has just become a right wing to sort of help Mo Salah out in case of fatigue or injury. Oh yes, the haunting of Lucas Leiva, as I like to call it. Yeah, it wasn't a great game to be on the sideline and watch Lazio outclassed us through the midfield. They got in behind us, they caused us problems, and of course they did win the game. Yeah, it was a little bit of a shock to the system. I thought that we were going to boss it. Unfortunately, we didn't, but it's as simple as getting back to the training ground, watching videos, watching clips of how they got in behind, how they scored their goals, what the problems were. I can straight away see that there's problems where we're diving into tackles. We need to stop off that. We need to just make sure that we're there and applying pressure, not sliding in, not diving in, because we dive in, slide in, we go to ground. I've told my players so many times that if we go to ground and the opposition's still on their feet and we don't win the ball, they've now got an advantage to get past us. So unfortunately there was a couple of mistakes in there. Obviously we weren't on our shooting game. I think attacking the Lazio defence and goalkeeper, we've done a pretty decent job. I just think in the midfield and defence we lacked a little bit, but we've been watching clips, we've worked out what we've done wrong, we've been working on it on the training ground. Going forward, we just couldn't unfortunately score enough goals to get back in the game. We didn't have enough chances to get back in the game, and unfortunately it's just one of those things. But yeah, a disappointing loss to Lazio, but hopefully we can bounce back in the Champions League group stage. We've got Voluntari up next in a couple of days' time, so hopefully we bag the 3 points there. We can get back on track and we can start chasing down Lazio, who are now 3, unfortunately, points ahead of us. Yeah, so unfortunately I wasn't actually aware of this. It was actually my backroom staff and a few players at Liverpool that were saying that after the Lazio game on Twitter, the hashtag MassiveBrad out was trending. Unfortunately, it's one of those hard things when you're a manager. Of course, when you're winning and you're winning trophies, the fans love you. When you're losing, the fans will look to the players and look to the manager as to why. At the end of the day, the fans love to see their team win. They want to see them win trophies. They want to see them succeed. So when we don't do that and maybe a player makes a mistake, there is, as I like to call them, Twitter trolls and online trolls that sort of take after the players, whether it's saying, do this, do that, you're terrible, you should be sold. And then obviously there's tweets getting put out there, sell this player and buy this player because he had a terrible performance. Football's about up and downs. You have good games, you have bad games. The difference is you have to work more harder on the bad games than the good games. If we have a good game, we've got everything right. If we have a bad game like we did against Lazio, we've done something wrong. We've addressed what we've done wrong and we've been working on it hard. So when we next play Lazio, it certainly won't be the same sort of result. We've worked on how they sort of bossed us in the midfield, worked out how they got in behind, and we will turn that round. For me, if fans are going to say, not back their players, not back their manager, whoever is in charge, whatever players we have, if players aren't going to support the players and the manager, are they really fans? I've met so many lovely Liverpool fans when I've been in the city of Liverpool, and they're coming up to me, they're wanting pictures and saying you're doing a great job, and you know, you've got players that are scoring for fun. How did you do it? They're wanting to ask me about what it's like working at Liverpool, and I always say it's the best job in the world. But unfortunately, there's those few fans which let's be honest, I can't really class them as fans because they'll back you and be behind you when you're winning, when you're in a positive mindset. But the minute you lose or something bad happens and you're suddenly already on the ground, it's like it's their job online to kick you while you're already down. And for me, they're not Liverpool fans. I've met too many players, I've met too many fans from different clubs, but Liverpool have got one of the best fan base. But there is a few, unfortunately, that'll take to Twitter and take to online to sort of bring you down. And for me, they're not Liverpool fans. Liverpool fans, whether it's tough games, easy games, they're with you and support you through and through. If there's a few fans that want to take to online and sort of kick you while you're down, they're just not fans in my mind. But they're the same people that probably weeks later will see me and ask for a picture, even though they've told me to leave the club, they've told the club to terminate my contract. Once they see me out in public, they'll be completely different because they are just online trolls. And if MassiveBrad out was trending because of the Lazio game, yes, we got it wrong, but my job now is to get it right and fix it for next time we play Lazio. That doesn't mean that everyone should be out with their daggers and their flame torches wanting me out of the club. It's my job to make mistakes and fix those mistakes. I'll certainly look to do that in the Lazio game. So maybe this can be a point towards the Twitter trolls and the online trolls of either support me as your Liverpool manager and support the Liverpool players, or don't support Liverpool at all. It's as simple as that. If you want to support the club, you have to support the players and the manager, regardless of results, regardless of success. That's how it is, and this is Liverpool Football Club. If this is your football club, you should support it no matter what. Not just decide to support it when we're winning, because that just makes you a glory hunter. And don't kick me when I'm down and kick the players when they're down because they've had a bad game. Because everybody has bad days in life. Right, and I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has left the comments using the hashtag comment conference in today's episode. We're just going to touch upon, there's only 2 comments coming in from social media today, both of them being off Kuru the creator. First one saying, what an episode, your gameplay is really improving, keep it up. Well, thanks Kuru, I feel like I'm certainly getting more comfortable on the ball. I'm starting to learn a little bit better of how to defend. Yes, we conceded quite a few against Lazio, but it's just one of those games. I feel like I'm certainly starting to understand the goal, how to score goals. I'm understanding the new defending techniques that you need to do and sort of how the defending engine works. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot more confident playing FIFA, and as time goes on, of course, I will just improve and get better and better over time. And the next comment and last comment coming from Kuru the Creator is, in my opinion, the money from the sale of Shaqiri could be used to buy a real good centre-back to partner with Virgil van Dijk. Someone between the ratings of 55 and 88. Someone like Skinnerar, if that's how you pronounce it, Skinnerar, I don't know if that's correct. I think he's from Inter Milan. Or Nicholas Sewell, who I do believe is Bayern Munich. I also don't think Varane is too unrealistic at this point. I don't think Joe Gomez should be in the first team and he should be dropped to the second team. Well, that's a big shout, Kuru, and I'll certainly address this when we get to the January transfer window as to if people would like to see me bring in a new centre-back to partner with Van Dijk. I'll obviously do a straw poll saying, do we bring in a new centre-back and drop Joe Gomez to the second team, or do we put our faith and trust in Joe Gomez and don't sign another player? Obviously, you guys can vote, and then we can decide what the outcome is from there. Obviously, if we move Gomez into the second team, we'd have Kabak, Gomez and Matip to sort of rotate with the first 2 and also play in the second team, and then we'd have Van Dijk and Varane, or Van Dijk and Nicholas Sewell, or whoever it may be to play there. So I'm always open to ideas from you guys. So once we get to the January transfer window, I'll certainly do a straw poll to see if you guys are also on the same page as Kuru and if you think we should sign a new centre-back. Now, that's going to do it for all the questions, comments that have come in from today's comment conference. So let's head back to today's episode. Right, so we've just done the comment conference, and I want to say a massive thank you to all of you that are still leaving hashtag comment conference questions. It's unbelievable. I love this original idea. I think it's been planned very well. I spent a lot of time sort of making the notice board behind me or the press conference board behind me. And I just think that the idea, being an original idea, is great for the channel. It seems you guys are loving it. There's still many of you leaving comments for the hashtag comment conference, so I'm really enjoying it, and it seems like you guys are too. But we've got comment conference out the way. Up next, we take on Sheffield United in the Premier League. Now, the thing with Sheffield United, we've obviously in real life just sold Ryan Brewster there. We've got a buyback clause ready to bring him back if needs be. But the problem I find, and before I even seen the lineup, I was going to say that Sheffield tend to go very defensive, even sometimes playing 5 at the back, and you can see we've got Stevens, Egan, Mata, Ampadu and Baldock at the back for Sheffield United. Now, although going forwards, Sheffield United last season scored a few goals. I think their highest goal scorer, though, was only 7. The main thing they have in their team, and the hardest part to break down, is their defence and keeper. They obviously had, who's now gone back to Manchester United, they had Henderson between the sticks, and then they played 5 at the back. Teams couldn't break them down to score goals. So they'd either get a 1-0 win, or it may be a 2-1 or a 2-0, but they didn't tend to score many goals. But they tended to only play one striker. We've got McGoldrick and Sinsek, or Jinsek, up top. So they're playing 2 strikers and still 5 at the back. Now, straight away, I can see that there's not much out wide in the midfield. So I think especially Mane and Salah are going to have to do a job down there and really cause problems for Baldock and Stevens. But Sheffield United are certainly going to be a difficult team to break down 100% because they were solid last season. They're not so solid this season and they still can't score many goals, but I think playing 5 at the back is going to be very difficult for us to break down. But you can now see the lineup. We've gone with Sadio Mane out on the left wing, Bobby Firmino striker, Salah out on the right wing, Gino Wijnaldum linking up with the skipper Jordan Henderson in the central midfield. We've got Fabinho a little deeper in the central defensive midfield, and then Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez and Trent at the back with Alisson between the sticks. Let's get into this game against Sheffield United. Hope we can break them down, and hope by half-time we've put a couple in the back of the net. Come on, Red Men. Sadio Mane is back.
The big news is
it is big news. He's back after 10 days. It's nice to have him back. And in real life, we're about to play Everton in the Merseyside derby this weekend. And Mane has just been, unfortunately, out with the virus. He's going to be back for the Everton game. So is Thiago. So very happy for that. Sadly, Naby Keita not going to be back for that game. But Thiago and Mane being back is huge for Liverpool. And we certainly need to bounce back after that game against Aston Villa. But it is going to be Bobby Firmino to get us kicked off in his first half period. Let's get it underway. And come on, Redmen, we need a win here. Go on, Bobby, I've got you. No, we're going to go to Mane instead. Mane going to still come away with that ball. Nicely done. Go through there now to Mo Salah. Beautiful. Go back to Mane on the inside. Mane cuts it back. Onto his weak left foot. Looks to Ben when it's straight over the bar. Let's go for Fabinho. Hold him here. That ball can't go through. That ball can't go through. He's walked through. I slid in with Gomez. Why? Why did I slide in with Gomez? I switched player and slid in straight away, and I don't know why. And I think it's because I went with the runner. And with Fabinho, they're going with the runner. But Van Dijk's now gone across. And by the time I swapped to Joe Gomez, he's already getting past them. We're not going to keep a clean sheet, and it's 1-0 Sheffield United. They have scored very early on. Not good. Here's Bobby. Through now. Sadio Mane! That time, Mane! Third time lucky. He's going to put it in the back of the net. Well done, Sadio, and welcome back to the starting 11. A great goal for his return to be playing at Anfield. Beautiful. Bobby Firmino feeds one through. Mane's coming across the face of goal. Left the keeper in the middle. He should have been moving with Mane. He doesn't, and Mane squeezes it in at that near post. We're finally back to level terms we needed to be. And thankfully, Sadio Mane puts his third shot on target in the back of the net. Here's Salah. Salah looks to play it through. We've now got Fabinho. He's now going to feed it through to Jordan Henderson, who looks to get a shot off. Sheffield United are putting their bodies on the line now, and as Stevens kicks that out for a Liverpool throw-in, they will be glad that they've just heard the half-time referee's whistle, because we were applying the pressure in those last 10-15 minutes. They didn't know how to handle us. They were sliding, putting their bodies on the line. The keeper must have been so panicked between the sticks. If we come out with that same attitude at the start of the second half, it won't be long before we put a second one past them, and we do take the lead for today's game. Let's go and take the ball off them now. McGoldrick puts the ball in. Trent there. No! No! Good block, good block. Let's go, Mane. Let's go, Mane. Go on. Ball in behind is Norwood. Well done, Robertson. We've got to clear this up, lads. We've got to clear it up. Let's win the header. Oh, we are panicking here. We cannot get this ball out whatsoever. Oh, no. I've slid in. I've told myself a million times, don't slide in. Sometimes you panic and just want to try and win the ball. And McGoldrick has given them the lead. Oh, slid in there. That's the problem. I don't know why Alisson didn't come off his line quicker, but we are now 2-1 down to Sheffield United. Give me options here. Give me options. Play it into there now. It's Thiago, edge of the box. Thiago! Oh, it's another great save. Come on, 1 minute. Let's move, lads. Let's move. Oh, we give the ball away. Come on, we can't do this. 2 minutes added on. Win that back, Fabinho. Win it back. Let's move, Saul. Let's move. Here's Genie. Come on, Genie. Move, Bobby. Move, Bobby. It's Saul. Oh, it's gone back to the keeper. We're not going to get it. We're not going to get it. It's gone.
And so the referee brings this match to an end, and Liverpool have lost. That's the big story from their angle. Lee, your thoughts?
Well, when you have a blueprint on how you play as a team...
This is what I was saying at the start about Sheffield United.
They have not hit those targets today. Getting
in behind and scoring goals is difficult. They've got 5 players at the back, and we didn't do it right at all. I mean, stat-wise, see, for me, it's probably a draw. If not, we edge a win there. 8 shots, 5 on target for us. 5 shots, 5 on target for Sheffield United. Unfortunately, defensive errors cost us that game. Not being crucial when we got through on goal. It's like the game now against Leicester at the start of the season. It's a tough one to swallow. I'm really not happy that we've just won no points at Anfield. It's a tough one, but we're going to have to swallow it. We're going to have to bounce back. We've got a game up next in the Champions League. And then we have to bounce back against Brighton for the final game in today's episode. So up next, we take on Voluntari for our 3rd game in our Champions League group stage. We are currently joint on 3 points with Voluntari. We need to get this win. Hope that Sion can hold Lazio to a draw or maybe even beat them. And we're back in the race to finish first in our group stage. It's a must that when we next take on Lazio, we get the win without a doubt. But unfortunately, because of how we've just played and because of our last game being against Lazio and us getting the loss, I wanted to play a very rotated team and play a lot of players from sort of the reserves and the subs. But unfortunately, I'm having to play still some of the big guns. I feel like it's a game where we can't afford to slip up. We certainly can't lose this game. It'd be tough even if we drew the game. We need to get a win out of it. So I've had to have left the back 4 exactly how it is. Unfortunately, Genie wasn't fully fit, so Thiago's still coming in, but still a great player to be coming in. The front 3, Mane and Bobby weren't fit, Sadaka and Jota coming in. But other than that, I wanted to try and keep this team exactly how it is. I could have benched Alisson and brought Gazaniga in, but I just felt like a must win against Voluntari. I can't afford for us to slip up here. So although all the players aren't fully fit, I'm just going to hope that we can do a job against them. We've gone with Diego Jota out wide on the left wing. We've got Daka at striker, Salah out on the right wing, Thiago linking up with the skipper Jordan Henderson in the central midfield. A little deeper, we've got the Brazilian man Fabinho in the central defensive midfield, and then Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez and Trent at the back with Alisson between the sticks. Let's get into this simulated game. It's a tough one because we've got to bounce back here. The lads have got to show me that we are willing to bounce back. After a loss to Lazio, and then, I don't know how, but a loss to Sheffield United 2-1 there, the lads have got to bounce back and show me that they mean business. As Daka is the man to get us kicked off in his first half period. And that's not a great start. Ball up to Mo Salah, into Daka. Daka over now to Thiago. Here comes Thiago. Over the top now to Jota. Robertson, Thiago. Thiago, find a bit of space here, son. Go backwards if we have to. It's Fabinho. Fabinho back through now to Daka. 1-0 Daka. Yes! Well done, Patson Daka. 14 minutes in, and we've took the 1-0 lead. That is what we needed. Just get back Van Dijk. Here we go. Here's Daka. Out wide now to Trent. Get that ball in, Trent. Get the ball in. It's Henderson. Go back to Trent. Henderson turns his man. It's 2-0 Henderson. Get in there, Hendo. 28th minute, we have took 2-0 lead. If we can get to 3-0 by half-time, go to Mo there, is Henderson. There we go, here's Trent in behind. Trent, get that ball in, is Mo Salah. Mo Salah now coming forward into Henderson, it's 2-0. 3-0, sorry, Henderson gets a second. 3-0, and the captain somehow getting a brace. Unbelievable. Jordan Henderson in these simulated games really gets forwards a lot, really attacks well. And of course now with 3-0 is Daka now, great interception from Fabinho, back to Daka, let's look out wide now for Mo Salah. Mo Salah into Daka, tried to slide it in, Jota was there to clear the way from the defender. And we have the half-time whistle. What a performance in that first half. Henderson getting 2, Daka getting 1. We're in a half-time, 3-0 up. I'm very confident we will resume the second half this time with FC Voluntari getting us kicked off. I think this could be maybe 5-0. This, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're defending well. The shape's not too great. Maybe they'll try and exploit us there like they look to be doing now. But other than that, we're scoring goals, and that's the important thing. Turn Henderson in now to Thiago, and it's another great save from the Voluntari keeper. If you look at the stats, we've had 68% possession, and we score from the corner with Patson Daka. Corner taken quickly. Patson Daka gets his head on it. opener here. Great ball in the end on a weak foot. Here's Naby Keita. Put it into Jota there. Jota doesn't want to go. Henderson's going to go. Henderson gets his shot off. He's dying to get his hat-trick. But unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get it as there's only a minute to go. Ball through now to Minamino. Back to Minamino. It's 5-0. And Taki Minamino scores in the 90th minute to take us to 5-0. I called it was going to be 5-0, and as Voluntari do get us kicked off, the referee is going to blow his full-time whistle. We managed to beat FC Voluntari in the group stage of our Champions League 5-0. That's exactly what we needed. We had to bounce back. Daka scoring the first, Henderson getting a brace by half-time, and then in the second half, if we scroll up, we've got Daka scoring again, so Daka actually got a brace as well in the 68th minute. And then, of course, to put the last nail in the coffin, it was Taki Minamino to score in the 90th minute to give us that 5-0 win over FC Voluntari. 66% possession, 14 shots, 9 chances. They didn't even have a shot, let alone a chance, and only had 34% of the ball. Great performance from Liverpool. That's better. Let's hope we can do that against Brighton up next. And after starting today's episode with a loss to Sheffield United, it now means that Manchester City are joint top with us on 21 points. West Ham in second, only 1 point behind us. Leicester City only 3 points behind us. It's just not good enough. We need to bounce back against Brighton. We need to bag the 3 points, because with City now breathing right down our necks, West Ham breathing right down our necks, if we slip up and don't get these 3 points, and the other two teams do, I'm sure they're going to see the gap between them and us, and they're going to look to push on and grow this gap bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, we're coming up against a team, again, that potentially plays 5 at the back. Bernardo, Dunk, Byrne, Veltman, and Venuti, if that's how you pronounce the name. And we've got Matt Ryan, of course, a player that we were interested in bringing in for our second keeper behind Alisson. Matt Ryan between the sticks. It's going to be a difficult one. Malpai up top as well. We're playing against an ex-Liverpool player in Adam Lallana, who's playing in the right central midfield role. They're bulked out in the middle of the park. We just need to make sure that we boss the middle, boss the midfield, control the defence well, make sure when we get our chances, we put them past Matt Ryan. But you can now see the lineup. We've gone with Sadio Mane out on the left wing, Bobby Firmino, striker, Salah on the right wing, Gino Wijnaldum linking up with Jordan Henderson in the central midfield role. We've got Fabinho a little deeper in the central defensive midfield, then Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez and Trent at the back with Alisson between the sticks. If we can get to half-time and be winning by 2 or 3 goals, Van Dijk and Trent will be coming off for Kabak and Nico Williams. I have to make sure I'm resting them. They're not full fitness going into this game. I don't want to risk picking up any injuries. But let's get into this game at Anfield against Brighton, and hopefully this time round we can bag those 3 important points. Come on, Reds. Come on. I need that man. 23 goals in 9 Premier League games. That's not right. Mo Salah hasn't scored. He scored 23 in 9 Premier League games. No. Or is that just Liverpool? Liverpool, we've scored 23 goals in 9 games. That seemed a little bit odd, but I'm excited to get this game kicked off with Bobby Firmino. We've got to bounce back from this Sheffield United game, that's for sure. Henderson. Fabinho. GD turns his man in behind now for Bobby Firmino to slot home. He puts it wide. Come on, Bobby, I need you. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. It's not what we're looking for. We've got to be careful here. They're opening us up at the back now. Opening us up at the back. Here's Lallana. Don't let Adam Lallana score against his former club. Adam Lallana. No! Oh, well blocked. Well blocked, Van Dijk. Well blocked indeed. Van Dijk, Fabinho, Gini. Straight up now to Bobby Firmino. Who's going to turn his man. Bobby Firmino going to slide that in now for Mo Salah. Who's going to get away from his man. Mo Salah. Bobby. Mane turns it. Looks to hit it. Fabinho going to hit it on the volley. And it's going higher, higher and higher. Better Firmino. Pings one out now to Mo Salah. Beautiful Mo Salah. Needs to ping this in towards Mane at the back post. Mane's there. It's a great save from Matt Ryan. Fabinho. Gini. Back to Fabinho. Through now to Jordan Henderson, who turns his man. Looks to hit it. Referee. Henderson's down injured there. Henderson is down and they're going to be in behind here. They're in behind. We've lost it. Come on, Alisson. Let's go. Oh, well done, Alisson. Well done, Alisson. Henderson, I think, is going to go off. Here we go. Oh, he's holding his knee or his shoulder, one of them. And the skipper has got to go off. Oh, no. First substitute in Henderson for Naby Keita. Unfortunately, due to injury, leaving us only now with 2 subs, which has got to be Van Dijk and probably Trent. I was hoping by half-time we'd be 2 or 3-0 up. Oh, he falls funny. I'm going to say it's either his shoulder or his elbow. Although he's holding his knee. I don't know. FIFA sometimes he can hold his shoulder, but it might end up being his neck or something. Win that, Sadio. Beautiful. There's Bobby Firmino. Fabinho through now to Naby Keita! The man that has just come on for the injured captain Jordan Henderson has just scored. He's only been on the pitch 5 minutes, if that. And he gets himself into a great position. Bobby Firmino sends a lovely ball around the back of the defenders. Well done to Sadio Mane for winning it. Oh, it was Fabinho to put the ball in behind, should I say. I thought it was Bobby Firmino. Bobby Firmino gets the ball from Sadio Mane. Feeds a lovely ball around the corner. Naby Keita's there, nice and low, nice and strong into that bottom right corner. It's a beautiful, beautiful goal from Naby Keita. It gives us the lead in the 36th. Let's go, Van Dijk. Be there, be a name, be a number. There you go. Here's Naby Keita. Naby Keita going to slot that in behind now for Mo Salah, and he's going to be on that stronger left foot. Mo Salah. Bobby Firmino there to finish. He's missed it. Relax here, lads. Here's Naby Keita. Bobby. Straight through there now to Mo Salah. And I'll tell you what, Mane towards the back sticks. Mane in. He's going to get there ahead of Matt Ryan. It's a great save from Matt Ryan. It is a cracking save by Matt Ryan. He's twisting and turning. Unfortunately, too many twists, too many turns. And as the ball arrives at Connolly's feet on the halfway line, the referee is going to blow for half-time. It's only 1-0. Not really where I expected to be. I thought we would have been 2 or 3-0 up. Bobby Firmino has had chance after chance. Unfortunately, just not got his scoring boots on today. Hopefully he can change that in the second half. But we are going to jump back into the second half with exactly the same team. Eventually in the next 10-15 minutes, look at making a couple more subs. But it is Brighton to get us kicked off in this second half period. Nicely done that, although is Trent. To Naby Keita, to Bobby. Player through now to Mane, who's going to be in behind. Is he now going to have gone offside? Genie couldn't sort his feet out. Mane's still going to be onside. Sadio Mane, it's 2-0. There we go. I didn't know if we'd screwed up there. Genie couldn't get the ball from underneath his feet to get the ball through to Mane nice and quick. Thought he may have just gone offside, but it looks like he hasn't. He stayed onside, he's cut in, he's on that stronger right foot, he bent on the near post as well. Matt Ryan shouldn't be getting beaten from there, but he has been. Bobby is there now to Mane, and Mane, you've got to be gone. Mane, you've got to go. And Mane is going to run here. Keep going, Mane. Oh, he's past one. He's skipped past him. Come on, Mane. Sliding in now for Mo Salah at the back post. He's played it into the middle. It's unlucky, that Mo. Through there now to Bobby. Let's go. Player through now to Diego Jota. Diego Jota making his way into the box. There's Jota. Edge of the box now for Genie. Still Genie. Bobby turns his man. Bobby Firmino. It's a great save from Matt Ryan. Mo Salah is going to try and head this in if he can. Mo Salah going to go down there. It's going to be kept alive. It's a great ball to keep it in as well. Come on. There we go. As proper plays it over to Adam Lallana. The referee is going to vote for full time. 94 minutes passed and we do manage to beat Brighton 2-0. Not the most exciting of games. We got a few decent chances. 2 goals in the back of the net. 1 from Naby, 1 from Sadio Mane. But we keep a clean sheet. And I suppose that's something we've got to look at. Stat-wise, 14 shots, 10 on target. We could have had 5 or 6 in the back of the net. But Matt Ryan was spectacularly a great keeper on the day. He plays really well. And unfortunately, we couldn't put more past them. But on paper, we do look a lot better than Brighton. We had a little bit more possession. 14 shots, 10 on target compared to their 4 shots, 2 on target. Sadio Mane picks up an 8.6 and man of the match. 8.6 isn't really high enough for me when it comes to the man of the match. I'd like to see him getting into the 9s. But you know what? We see the game out. Sometimes there's games that are a little bit scrappy. But as long as you get the result, as long as you get the 3 points, keep a clean sheet and win the game, that's the important thing to take from this game. And that's exactly what I'm going to be taking. Right guys, and here we are back at the Central for the final time in today's episode. And wow, we kick off a massive game in the next episode. We're taking on Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. It'll certainly be a good game to give out a run out to some of the youngsters, give some of the rotator players a real good run out. But we've unfortunately, and it's probably going to be a question from one of you guys in the hashtag comment conference, we've lost Henderson for 7 months. Bad news, I'm afraid. Jordan Henderson has suffered an ACL ligament injury, or an ACL injury, and will be out for up to 7 months. We've lost our skipper. And the issue with this is 7 months probably takes us to the end of the season, in reality. I think we're in about November time now. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking we're about November, maybe October. In fact, I can see there, it's the 24th of the 10th. We're nearly going into the month of November, and we've lost him for 7 months. So December, January, February, March, April, May. We're looking at June before he comes back. Unless he comes back early, we've pretty much lost him for the whole season. Henderson, a man that in the simulated games has been bossing it for us, scoring plenty of goals, and he's out. Now, luckily enough for us, in January, we are going to look at bringing Dennis Zakaria in. So we could play him at the centre mid, but we've got plenty of other options. We've got Ox, we've got Thiago, we've got Naby Keita that can slot in there. That's not a problem, but Jordan Henderson is sort of the heart of this team. He's the pinnacle, and we've lost our skipper, and it's going to be a massive loss to the team. On other good news, we've had an offer in for Marko Grujic of a fee of 11.4 million from Real Sociedad. What we're going to do there is, he is valued at 10 million. We're going to ask for a little bit more. We're going to delegate. I want you to start at 16. You offered 11.4. I'd be willing to take 12.5 is the minimum. So we will delegate that out to our assistant manager. He can deal with that. That's not a problem. So we can go ahead and delete that now. But unfortunately, yeah, losing Jordan Henderson for 7 months is going to be massive for us. We're really going to have to change things round. It's going to give opportunities to other players to get in the starting lineup. I think it's probably either going to be Naby Keita or Thiago that slots in. Thiago's been playing okay. Naby Keita's been probably a step ahead of him at the moment. We may just have to rotate them two and see which we feel more comfortable with. But with Henderson being out for 7 months, it's really going to impact this team and hit home. And as you can see, the lineup that we've currently got ready to play City, we're going to have to rotate that as well. Not enough fitness throughout the team. Don't want to risk any more injuries, so we will have to rotate. Unfortunately, Henderson just landed a little bit funny. And has obviously done in his ACL, which is a little bit of disappointment. But we adapt, we adjust, and we have to move. But we are going to take a look at the games that lie ahead in the next episode. We take on at home Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. We're then away from home to take on Crystal Palace for the last day of the month of October in the Premier League. And then we move into the month of November, where our first game is against Voluntari in the Champions League. Well, I think I've pretty much summed up what we're going to be doing. We're going to play the game against Manchester City. We're going to play the game against Crystal Palace. And then we'll simulate that game against Voluntari, because we simulated it last time in today's episode and managed to beat them 5-0. So I'm quite happy to do exactly the same again. We play City in the next episode, and then we play City again in the episode after that. Really, really difficult games coming up, especially because we've got Newcastle, City, and FC Sion. Lucky enough, we can probably simulate the game against Sion, depending if we beat Voluntari, and we should be able to get through to the knockout stages regardless of playing those games. But unfortunately, I'm gutted to be ending today's episode with a loss to Jordan Henderson. I think he's been tremendous in the midfield. He's really broke up a lot of play for us. We don't really have a player like him. Yes, Thiago and Naby Keita are great, but they're great going forwards and playing the balls in behind and stuff. Whereas Henderson, he does a lot of our defensive duties as well. So losing a crucial player like that sucks a little bit. We're just going to have to dig deep, rotate, adapt, adjust, and hopefully we can continue our winning ways. Before we actually end today's episode, I'm just going to take a little look at where we are in the Premier League. Of course, we were joint with Manchester City. We don't know how Manchester City got on in their last game. Let's take a look. I'm assuming they're going to be on the same points. No, they lost. Who did Manchester City lose to? Manchester City lost 1-0 to Chelsea. So we have some breathing space. We now have a 3-point breathing space. If we beat Manchester City when we play them in 2 episodes' time, we'll grow that to 6 points, which will be absolutely fabulous. We can start growing that gap. Goal difference. We're the only team right now in the Premier League that have double figures. We've got 16 goal difference. We've scored 25. I'm pretty sure Mo Salah hasn't scored 23 of them, so it must have been saying that Liverpool has scored 23 goals in 9 games, not Mo Salah. It was strange that we were zoomed in on Mo Salah. Maybe I've read it wrong. Maybe it said Liverpool somewhere, but I may have missed that one. But if you have enjoyed it, please do give it a big thumbs up for me. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment down below. Don't forget to ding dong that bell. And I've been Massive Brad. Peace out.